Our client is a leading player in the e-learning industry in Australia and delivers value by providing innovative e-learning solutions and interactive portals. They recently developed an online assessment program to conduct online examination for high school students. An estimated strength of about 80,000 users were expected to enroll for the exam and give the online examination, which was of 3 hours duration. Having said that, one of the key assessment criteria for successful implementation of the solution was the performance and stability of the application when such a high volume of users will hit the servers. Talking about the technology and environment, our client managed to set up the complete hosting on cloud using Windows-based Azure platform. The application was developed using Microsoft ASP.NET technology, hosted on IIS 7, and had SQL Server 2008 in the backend. Both the web and the DB servers were hosted on the cloud infrastructure using on-demand Azure instances that gave the flexibility to ramp up the infrastructure dynamically. There were two key business requirements that came up from the client. One of the requirements was to assess the stability of the system and identify all the potential bottlenecks in the application to fine-tune the application. The second requirement was to identify the optimum number of Azure instances required that would be required to sustain the load of 80,000 users on the day of examination. With this, one of the challenges was to set up an adequate infrastructure and tool to generate such a high volume of user load, as it involved a high cost and impacted the overall project budget. As a solution to the client, we first gave a solution to meet out the challenges in setting up the adequate infrastructure, for which we proposed to use the cloud-enabled performance labs owned by CresTech that ruled out the need to set up any dedicated hardware or tools and involve any cost that was required. To do the performance testing, we conducted the overall exercise in 2 steps. In step 1, we did load tests with just 1 or 2 Azure instances and monitored the application for performance bottlenecks at app and DB level. We gave recommendations to the development team to make the fixes and optimize the code. Now, once the code optimization was complete, the next step was to identify the optimum number of Azure instances that were required to sustain the load. We conducted tests by dynamically ramping up the Azure instances as we continued to increase the load on the system to reach to that optimum number of Azure instances required. As an ROI of the exercise, the client was able to successfully conduct the examination and go live with 0 performance defects. The client was also able to save a significant cost on setting up the infrastructure and tools and show a revenue advantage to the management.